for its canal and its hats. Then I'm crossing over into South America to a country that's had its fair share of troubles but is much safer these days. These two countries remain refreshingly untouched by mass tourism. I'm talking about Colombia and Panama. Colombia is the only country in South America that touches both the Atlantic and the Pacific, as does Panama to its north, the narrowest country of Central America. From Panama City, I traveled to Portobello and then on to the Cunayala region before continuing to Colombia and its capital, Bogota. I then travel on to Cartagena on the Caribbean coast. Finally, I trek through the jungle in the northeast to the Lost City. Possibly the most cosmopolitan and expensive city of Central America. It's also 3 cities in one. There's the ruins of Panama Vieja, the original city built by the Spanish in 1519, though destroyed by pirate Henry Morgan 50 years later. Then there's the Old Town, or Casco Viejo, which was built afterwards with its gorgeous Spanish colonial architecture. Finally, the modern commercial center, which has grown and grown since the beginning of 20th century. I start by exploring the Old Town. Well, there's a whole lot of life going on in these streets. I have seen this all over town. Looks like fried bananas or grilled bananas. Hola!
Buenas.
Buenas. ¿Qué es esto?
Plátano.
Plátano. It's a plantain, which is like a banana, but not a banana. Uno para mí, por favor. Y este es chorizo, ¿no? Chorizo. Bueno, está bueno. ¿Cuánto cuesta, cara?
Plátano 25 y chorizo 50.
All right. 50 cents for your chorizo, 25 cents for your plátano. ¿Qué es?
Parrillada, eso asado. El asado.
El asado.
Se llama parrillada.
Ah, the asado is called parrillada. See? I'm practically fluent, people. All right. Here's $1 for you.
Por Dios.
All right. Uh-huh.
Para que no se queme.
That's a good chorizo.
Muy rico.
Muy rico. And now for this. Like a banana, but not a banana plantain. And you just como esto. Ooh, that's really hot. Really good. I'm gonna get so fat in Panama. They're warning me. They're warning me about the food because it's gonna make me. Oh, she said thank you. That's a good warning. It's not gonna stop me. The times of Noriega, corruption and drug trafficking that made Panama a backwater of Latin America are long gone. Its capital is a hive of activity, housing 33% of the country's 3.3 million people. And since the 90s, tourism has been growing steadily. Here's an interesting bit of trivia. During the gold rush, Americans came down to Panama to help build a railroad. This is pre-Panama Canal days. And while they were out there working in the hot, hot sun, there were some very kind people selling hats. Anyway, it turns out that these people were from Ecuador. The hats, you know this one, it's the famous Panama hat. But when the Americans got back to the States, people would say, hey, I like your hat. And they'd say, oh, it's from Panama. Panama hat? I don't think so. It's actually from Ecuador. Did you know that?
Hola.
The Panama hat comes from Ecuador.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, I think Ecuador needs to reclaim their hat.
Welcome.
These are beautiful.
Yes.
So what's the skinny on the hats? Tell me.
That hat's like $10.
$10, okay.
Actually, it's for you.
That's for me, to try.
Yes.
Yeah? I like it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
And we have different qualities. For example, this is like $50.
$50. Why is this one 50 and this one 10? And what should one look for?
This is the material. You test.
Oh, it's soft, right?
This hat like 100 150.
This is 150. Why? Why? They look almost the same to me.
No, it's different.
Why?
This you can put it, roll it. You can make like this, like a paper.
Uh-huh. And will it always take its shape again?
Yes. And put it inside the bag.
Oh, come on. That's a thing of beauty. Except you have to scratch out where it says Panama and put Ecuador hats.
Yeah,
I'm on a
right.
crusade to get Ecuador represented in this. But I think I'll take a middle of the road one.
Yeah.
Should we make the deal? How much is it? 30. Muchas gracias. 30.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure doing business with you, sir. The idea to build the Panama Canal was first suggested in 1534 by Charles V of Spain to avoid the long voyage around the tip of South America. The French tried for 20 years and failed with mishaps and tropical diseases, killing over 20,000 workers. The Americans took over at the beginning of the 20th century and completed it in 1914. The Panama Canal stretches 50 miles linking the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. There are 3 locks along the way. Miraflores is only 2.6 miles outside Panama City. It's a great skill to maneuver through the locks, often with clearance of only 24 inches on either side. Guide Dazelle Marshall gave me a tour. That is a dirty great ship. That is incredible. Where is it coming from? Where is it going?
Okay, Megan, this ship is coming from the west coast of the U.S., either from San Francisco, Los Angeles, Long Beach, California. They're going to the East Coast, and then from the East Coast, they will go to Israel.
And how long does it take from beginning to end?
It takes 8 to 10 hours to transit through here.
Wow.
If you don't use the canal, then you will have to sail around South America, taking over 22 days, 8,000 extra miles, and in money, the ship will be saving 10 times more.
It's a great shortcut. I love a good shortcut. The canal is crucial for the Panamanian economy, generating US $1 billion a year. Not only that, the United States under Roosevelt helped Panama declare independence from Colombia in exchange for building the canal and for control of what became known as the Panama Canal Zone. What's the highest toll somebody's paid?
The highest toll was paid by a container cargo vessel from the Merck's company. And that vessel paid $249,165.
What is the lowest toll ever paid?
The lowest toll was paid by Richard Halliburton. He swam through the Panama Canal in 1928.
He swam through?
Yeah. They measured him, he was 5 feet 6 inches. They weighed him, he was 140 pounds. According to his size and weight, they charged him 36 cents.
How did he do? He fared well? No problems?
No problem. You know, they put a little boat beside him, and there were 2 guys on board. One was rowing, and the second one was a sharpshooter, just in case of he get attacked by any type of animal through the swimming.
What type of animal?
We have crocodile, we have different type of animals.
The bus system here is very good, but a little bit different. Most of the buses are privately owned, so they have to compete over fares. And about 20 years ago, some guy had the genius idea of painting his bus to distinguish it and beat out the competition. Basically, he started a trend, so everywhere you go, you kind of look for the one that has the most character and flavor. I mean, you can't beat this. Art and transportation. Hola! Hi. Yeah, this is great, right? It's got flavor, it's got a little music. Hello? Hola. Hola. 20 años. ¿Ya tienes 20 años? No. Viene. And you are... I take my bus 50 miles north across the isthmus from Panama City to the small historic town of Portobello on the north coast. A journey of about 3 hours.
Hostels, always view the room first when you go to hostel. Make sure that it's clean.
No cockroaches.
No cockroaches, yeah, definitely.
Panama is a great country. It has beautiful landscapes and people are really nice and kind with all the travelers. In the city, there's very good shopping. They have lots of stuff at good prices coming from the canal. But if you want to go clubbing, I didn't find it so good.
Portobello Portobello was built by the Spanish in the 16th century, and at that time it was a key port on the Caribbean coast. Still standing is the King's Warehouse, where they stored much of the treasure that they collected in the New World. Riches worth up to 16 million pesos were brought here before being shipped back to Spain. I'm just on the other side of the bay from Portobello, and imagine here, at its peak of activity, were moored 100 galleons. The Spanish brought African slaves to build their towns and mule trains through the jungle. However, a number of these slaves, known as the cimarrones, escaped, sought refuge in the mountains, and even came down to attack the Spanish. Many of their direct descendants still live in Portobello and keep their traditions very much alive. Most Panamanians, like the cimarrones or those of Hispanic descent, came from across the Atlantic. But next, I visit a people native to the continent. From Portobello, I head to the Kingdom of Cunayala. There's no through road from Portobello, so it's back to Panama City, where I catch a small plane up to the northeastern coast. Cunayala is a semi-autonomous region made up of 365 islands. I'm going to the San Blas archipelago to visit the island of Carti. From Panama City, a return fare is only US $80. When you arrive, you have to register with the Cuna police and pay an entry fee of $3. I arranged to meet Gilberto Almancia, who took me to his home island of Carti Suctupu, where his family have been living since the Cuna people arrived here in the region 200 years ago. 2,000 people live on the island of Carti out of the total Cuna population of 68,000.
This is the school!
The kids are playing volleyball and basketball. It's very funny. Sometimes they have a competition.
It's the boys versus the girls.
That make up the San Blas archipelago are in fact coral reefs. I have to tell you, I'm a little bit worried about your islands because they are so close to the surface of the sea.
By the ocean.
Yeah, on the ocean. What about global warming and...
Maybe in 5 or 10 years they are thinking to move to the mainland.
What do you think about that? Are you worried about the Cuna?
No, because long time ago the Cuna is from the mainland, so I was thinking like, well, it's no problem, no?
Yeah.
We are from the Colombia, maybe in the 17th century. But after the Spaniards came here, we moved to the island.
This is such an idyllic feeling place. This is a matriarchal society, yeah?
Yes. My mom, she is boss in the house, in the society.
Where does it come from?
It's a long time ago, like in the Cuna religion.
What is the Cuna religion?
We believe our ancestor is from the UFO.
So the equivalent to kind of the Adam and Eve creation story for the Cuna people is that they came via UFO.
The UFO.
From outer space. Who knows? Tulemasi is a typical Cuna meal, made up of their staple diet of fresh fish, coconut, and plantain, with seasoning of lemon, pimento, and salt. Everybody has 2 names here, right?
The women. They have
the women have 2 names.
For example, my mom, the Cuna name is Siawaru.
Siawaru?
It's like a little niece.
A little niece.
Every woman, they have the Cuna name because in the ceremony, we celebrate ceremony only for women.
Brilliant!
So I don't have the Cuna name. I have only the Spanish name.
I'm sorry about that. I like your Gilberto name. The canoes that take you from one island to another are known as cayucos. You can stay with the Cuna family, sleep in a traditional hammock, and share the basic existence they choose to retain. I'm heading off, though, to check out another island half an hour away where there is now a guest house. Good morning. Good morning. So this is my hotel. It's $35 a night, but it includes transportation from the airport, 2 different island visits by boat, 3 meals, all 3 meals. It's nice, right? And, oh yeah, it's the only hotel in the archipelago. Look, I get to see this beautiful beach. Okay, I need coffee. I need coffee. Despite their preference for a simple life, Kuna communities are quite poor. 20 years ago, fish and coconuts were their main source of income, but prices fell. Now it's tourism and handicrafts, in particular, jewelry and molas. Hello.
Oh, look at this.
Hard at work. Hello. These are called what?
For the mola.
The mola.
We call it mola.
This is mola. For your shirts, you make it to the shirt. How much is this one?
Give anyway.
$2.
$5.
$5.
$5.
That's very fair because that's a lot of work. Beautiful. Yes, please. And also this. These are beautiful. The women
big,
here, they
yes.
wear. This is beautiful. How do I say that?
This is, we call in Kuna, Winnie.
Winnie. These are Winnie.
Winnie.
Oh, beautiful. Do you think I could have something like this?
Sure.
Do they sell these?
Yes, yeah, of course, definitely. You can get one like.
Mola designs were originally painted on the body and later transferred to cloth. More than men, Kuna women like to wear traditional dress, same as their ancestors did, and most wear a gold ring through the nose. Winnie are long threads of colorful beads that are bound around your calves. Once on, they stay on and can last up to 3 months until they fall off and are replaced.
Just show me off.
Life in Kunayala wasn't always this peaceful. Every year on February 25th, the Kunas celebrate the anniversary of their uprising in 1925, when in an attempt to westernize them, the Panamanian government sent police to occupy the islands and suppress Kuna culture.
Every other people is coming dancing all around, different dancing, like female and men and women dancing together.
Everybody's a big old fiesta. During the 2-day theatrical event, some dress up as Panamanian police, others as Kuna warriors in a recreation of the revolt. What's happening?
Now, right now, the colonial police is looking for candle.
Colonial police are looking for the leader of the Kuna people here. Although the police hunted down the island chiefs, one escaped, alerting others, who returned to face the authorities with a band of angry Kuna ready for blood. Uprising spread and the Kuna ambushed police on their islands. The fighting lasted only 1 day. Many were killed on each side, but the Kuna emerged victorious, resulting in the Panamanian government recognizing their land and cultural rights. With so many experiences packed into such a small country, I left both the archipelago and Panama behind for the larger and less traveled country of Colombia. From Kunayala, I fly back to Panama City and on, crossing from Central to South America. My first stop in Colombia, its capital, Bogota. A considerable security presence here, although to me it feels more reassuring than alarming. Colombia's well-documented troubles over the last few years have gotten so much better, although tourism is still barely an industry here. And that is why many travelers consider this Latin America's best-kept secret. With a population of 45 million, Colombia has a rich history. Santa Fe de Bogota sits on the country's highest plateau at 6,000 feet. It was founded in 1538 by the Spanish and remained the capital after independence in 1819. All right, so this place comes highly recommended. It's called the Platypus Hostel. Why it's called the Platypus, I have no idea. What a lovely place. Hola, ¿sabe dónde está el man?
¿Cómo estás? Can I help you?
I'm Megan. I think I made a reservation.
Yes, we have this room for you. Yeah. Here we go. Welcome to Platypus.
Oh, lovely. lovely place, lovely room. Now, $17 a night?
Yeah,
correct?
40,000 pesos.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Bathrooms are over there.
Great.
And let me show you the around here. Here is the living room.
Ooh, what a lovely
Sit down
place.
here.
Yeah.
Sorry, no TV.
No
There is a
TV.
fireplace. Here is the office. There are safe deposit boxes. We always offer a free beer or free coffee. Would you like one of them?
Oh, ¿por qué no?
Yeah?
¿Por qué no?
Okay, let me get you a beer.
Oh, thank you. What a lovely place. What a lovely man.
There was a bit of a hesitancy because of all the propaganda about Colombia, but once you get here, the strong police presence, you just feel at ease. I felt really comfortable being here. I haven't really felt threatened at all, no.
You should watch out at night, but during the day it's very safe. There's a lot of police and a lot of people. People are very nice.
A very safe country to travel in, except in the middle of the night. If you take the night buses, just be careful and don't take food or drinks from people you don't know, from local people, I mean, because the chance that you will be drugged and you will pass out is very, well, not big, but it is there. So, and if you pass out, there is a big possibility that they rob you and then you lose everything. So just be careful.
But on the other hand, I feel very safe here.
Plaza Bolivar. It is named after Simón Bolivar, also known as El Libertador, which is the liberator. Now this man, after countless struggles against the Spanish, finally managed to liberate Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Venezuela, creating the Republic of Gran Colombia in 1819. Now they didn't stay together for long. However, he is still venerated as a hero today. Bogota is a mix of old and new. The old town, Candelaria, is unmissable, with its hilly colonial streets and houses with hidden courtyards. Colombia is the second largest coffee-producing nation after Brazil. This place has something like 30 different ways to drink your coffee, though half of those, I think, have some shot of alcohol, and it's too early for that. This is a tinto. It's the way most people here drink their coffee. It's basically black and not quite as strong as espresso. Delicious coffee. Rebel groups and drug trafficking, kidnapping, and a very high murder rate, Colombia is not necessarily the safest place in the world. You may find, depending on where you're traveling, you want some extra protection, in which case I know just the place. Miguel Caballero has been making tailored bulletproof clothing for the last 12 years. He had the idea after he noticed his friends' bodyguards always left their bulletproof vests in the car as they were too cumbersome to wear. How did you start in this business?
16 years ago, with $10 to make the first bulletproof leather jacket, and now we have any type of clothing do you need?
Anything
we
you
can
need.
Make anything.
Bulletproof backpacks?
Yes, we made underwear.
Underwear?
Bulletproof underwear like 3 years ago, and now we are prepared to people, the hip-hop people, country, rodeo, anything.
What is that very fashionable coat?
That jacket is from Mr. Steven Seagal, the actor from Hollywood. That is a kimono from him, for the prince from Spain and his wife Leticia. Tropical t-shirt from Mr. President Chavez.
Has anybody actually been shot wearing your clothing?
2 times. We have the testimony from one person in Barcelona. Stopped the 4 times with the knife.
Stabbed 4 times with a knife?
Yes, in Barcelona.
Wow.
And in Bogota, when another people stopped the 8 shots from the Uzi, the submachine gun, and the pistol.
The bulletproof layer is inserted in the lining, and technology has advanced so much that in 10 years, the weight of a protective jacket has dropped from 9 pounds to 2.5 pounds. I hear that you are so confident about your product that you shoot each of your employees. Is that true?
Yes, sir. And we will shoot to one employee to make a real demonstration.
All right. Is he the lucky man?
Yes, he's the victim for today.
Yes. Hello. What's your name and why are you being shot?
Ivan.
Why is he being shot?
He is the commercial director in Venezuela. The name is Ivan.
Was he late one day?
No.
No? It's just a test of loyalty. Okay. So, Miguel, I understand this. I think it means Colombia is the safest country in the world.
That's true.
Really? Why?
We can find here the most armored car in the world, the most bodyguards in the world, and bulletproof clothing in the world.
Okay, so in that sense, it is the safest. Very well protected.
Yes.
Gracias. Okay, coming over here. So what kind of gun is this?
38, it's a revolver 38.
Okay, yeah.
Uno, dos.
Okay. Are you okay?
I can shoot you.
No, you're not shooting me. You're not. No. I'm sure your clothes are fine. Are you okay? You feel something? Oh, that's the bullet. Felt nothing.
Nothing.
Wow. That's it. It's flattened.
Yeah.
Wow. So, why isn't Colombia one of the safest places to visit? Well, in case you hadn't heard, it is the world's largest producer of cocaine. They supply 80 to 90% of the market. Here, I'm headed to the Police Museum, where they have an exhibit of a world-famous drug dealer who I think really could have used an entire wardrobe of Miguel Caballero's clothes.
Drug cartels started small in the early 70s, but quickly grew into an industry and boomed in the 80s. Mafia chiefs controlled plantations, laboratories, transport networks, and protection rackets.
Pablo Escobar started out as a small-time car thief and ended up the head of the biggest drug cartel in the 1980s. This man led a life of obscene luxury. For example, this Harley, a small present to one of his cousins. This room holds a collection of the memorabilia of the Escobar days that the police have collected. This was his very impressive gun collection. And what every drug lord needs, oh yes, a mini Uzi. It's so scary to imagine what these were actually used for. Something about him, he was also considered a Robin Hood figure of sorts. In order to win the hearts and minds of people in the neighborhood, he gave out lots of money. One way you could earn some more money, if you killed a police officer, brought Escobar his badge, you get $500, more for higher ranking officials. I mean, this is, I don't know why I find it so creepy, but his watch, his beeper, every drug lord needs a beeper, his Ray-Ban sunglasses, gold-rimmed, of course. I don't know about that. This apparently was the camera that he actually used to film assassinations that he had ordered or was witnessing or was a part of. Really scary. Over here, I see his wanted picture. He was, interestingly enough, for a while, an elected official. I think he thought he was pretty much impervious to arrest. However, by the 80s, the government decided to crack down. He was arrested in '92, managed to pay somebody off, escaped from prison, and for a year and a half was on the run. And this, remember these? This is one of those old school cell phones. Is how he got caught. He called his son. And the police used this very sophisticated device to actually track him down. Over here they have a newspaper. From the day that he died, it was the day after his 43rd birthday. He was shot 7 times up on a roof of a building trying to escape. His head, you can see, is down here on this tile, which they've preserved, complete with the blood stain. Very intense. And over here, I mean, you have an incredibly gruesome picture of this man and his crew. Afterwards, they track down everybody. They're either arrested or killed. Some of them may be released at some point in the near future. But it's kind of strange because he's a villain, but also it feels like a hero in some small way. But no matter what, he didn't come to a good end.
Escobar's hometown was Medellin, a place known for its association with old cocaine cartels. In 2002, the UN calculated there were 70,000 acres of coca fields in Colombia spread throughout the country. The U.S. says the figure is double that. There's often a strong rebel presence in these zones, so get government advice before traveling to rural areas. Journalist Alejandro Nieto offered to take me to visit a small coca plantation a few hours from Bogota to understand the trade and the dangers of cocaine.
Can you kind of break down for me the situation in Colombia now? What's happening?
Okay. Colombia has two big problems, cocaine and rebel groups. And now they are together because the biggest rebel group, that's FARC, control most of the cocaine production and traffic.
Which used to be controlled by Pablo Escobar and the drug cartels. And what is FARC?
They started in the 60s, and they were really a political movement against the corruption, against the poverty, and against that big gap that was between poverty and rich people here. But now they really just think about money, and now they just do everything about money. Not because they want to fight really the government to take the power, but because they really want to control small fields of cocaine. That's it.
The small coca field that we're going to visit is not controlled by FARC, I really hope.
Oh, no. It's safe now. It used to be quite dangerous. You could get eaten up there. But now they have moved. It's been cleaned up completely from FARC. So it's very good to go there. It's not a problem at all.
Okay.
FARC takes in $200 to $400 million annually. In fact, cartel bosses reputedly offered to pay off the country's entire foreign debt, some $13 billion, to gain immunity, without success. It's illegal to grow coca in Colombia, and for obvious reasons, we can neither reveal the location of the plantation that we're visiting, nor the name of the farmer.
Sí, esta es la planta de coca.
This is very gentle and harmless looking. Yeah? And what part of the plant do they use?
Las hojas.
Las hojas, the leaves.
Yeah, just leaves.
And how often can you harvest?
Cada 3 meses.
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a fast-growing baby. What does the leaf do without production? Does it have any quality to it?
No, ella así tú esto la utiliza uno para comer. Si tú tienes
just cut. You're hungry, for example, you don't feel tired and gives you a lot of energy. So that's why from ages ago the Indians just chewing it. Exactly.
Just in its natural form.
Exactly.
I'm going to try one. You just chew it? Just chew it.
It tastes like just a normal plant.
It's kind of bitter. I'm waiting. Nada. Nothing yet. But yeah, it's kind of like strangely.
Yeah, maybe you have to eat all these three.
All right, I'll be here for a while. Gracias. You can teach me Spanish. What do I need to know?
Bizcocho, you are so beautiful.
That's like
Bizcocho.
back to Bogota. I take a 3-hour flight northwest to Colombia's Caribbean coast and the beautiful colonial city of Cartagena. Cartagena was founded in 1533 on the site of a small Indian settlement called Calamari, and it's still amazingly well preserved. Between the 16 and 1800s, Cartagena suffered 5 major attacks, so the Spaniards built a series of walls around the town known as Las Murallas. These walls are 40 feet thick, took 2 centuries to build, and were finally completed in 1796, just 25 years before the Spanish were expelled. Within one section, they built a series of dungeons. Now, a place to go shopping.
It's a necklace or?
Yes, necklace.
Or maybe a belt. And how much is it?
7,000.
7,000. 2 for 10?
Okay.
Ooh.
The Castillo de San Felipe de Barajas is the biggest fortress built by the Spaniards in the New World. It was never taken despite numerous attempts to storm it.
It's a lovely
city. People are very nice, but you should bargain the price because they always want to. You see, they see us as travelers, so they make more. They want to make money.
You need a lot of cash in Colombia because a lot of stores don't take credit cards or debit cards. The best way to do it is not traveler's checks or bring in cash. Bring your ATM card because it's pretty easy. You should just check with your bank about what they charge for a fee. My bank, it's like $3 or $4 every time I take money out.
Yeah, they have a max. In Colombia, never blow your nose in the table. It's considered very rude by Colombians.
My family found this out.
The heart of Cartagena is the Old Town. At the center is the wealthy neighborhood with its elaborate colonial architecture and balconies covered in flowers.
This would be by Fernando Botero. He's a world-famous artist that the Colombians affectionately refer to as the man who paints fat people and apparently sculpts them as well. She's very beautiful. Within the outer walls is the poorer, atmospheric neighborhood of Gethsemane, where the true flavor of Cartagena can be felt. Today is a veritable institution in Cartagena. It was started by a Colombian boxer who was at one point champion of Colombia twice, champion of South America even. But when he retired, he decided to hang up his gloves and open this. Ex-boxer and local hero Bonifacio Avila owns one of the many kioscos that line the public beach here in Cartagena. Hola, señor. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What you like to eat?
I don't know. What's good? ¿Cuál es la especialidad de la casa?
Un buen sancocho de pescado.
Sancocho pescado. That sounds good.
Sancocho viene con yuca, plátano, muchas cosas sabrosas.
You're still boxing as you talk about food. Sancocho. You seem too nice to be a mean fighter.
That was a long time ago.
But I love your restaurant. I think I would like to try sancocho, por favor. Voy a comer. ¿Sí? Sí. I'll take it. Okay, gracias. The man himself.
Sancocho.
Beautiful.
Buen apetito.
Gracias, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Well, hello, fish with your head on. Huh. Okay. Let's see. So basically it looks like it has a plantain. And I think this is yuca. Yeah, that's yuca. Let me try this puppy. Or fish. Delicious. ¡Qué rico! One of the many popular Colombian music styles is vallenato, and bands cruising the beaches and cafes will play you a couple of songs for US $5. Cartagena, I fly along the Caribbean coast to Santa Marta in the province of Magdalena. From there, I trek through the jungle to the ruins of an ancient Indian town known as La Ciudad Perdida, or the Lost City. It's worth being prepared if you go during the rainy season. Whether on foot or on the back of a mule, the steep mountain paths can become thick mudslides, treacherous even for the mules. But come rain or shine, the rainforest and scenery is breathtaking. Travelers either start from Santa Marta or 25 miles east from the village of Machete. The route from Machete passes the Kogi Indian village of Mutangi before reaching the Lost City. The whole package to visit the Lost City costs about US $230, and farmers who live in the Sierras welcome travelers to stay the night in a hammock, with dinner and breakfast included. From Machete, it's only 14 miles to the Lost City, though it is a tough trek. Round trip, it will take about 6 days. This area used to be controlled by the rebel group FARC until the late 80s, and at that time, tourists were kidnapped occasionally.
But FARC have since been pushed out and it's safe now. However, you must check before traveling and always go with recognized guides.
I think Colombia is a paradox, because on the one hand you have places where there's a lot of violence and not very comfortable living conditions. That's true, I think, there are certain places. But there's also, in between these situations, very happy, very joyful people who are sharing with their hearts, enjoying every moment.
I love it. The people are great. The places I've visited are absolutely fantastic, like the Lost Cities today. Scuba diving has been excellent. I've loved it all.
I leave the mule train on the banks of a river and climb up the ancient flight of steps that lead to the site of the lost city. Here I meet archaeologist Santiago Giraldo, who only completed the excavation of this site in 2006.
What inspired you to become an archaeologist?
Dating back to 300 AD, the Lost City is one of the great unknown treasures of pre-Hispanic America. It was a settlement built by the Tairona Indians, a civilization who disappeared in the 16th century when the Spanish invaded the region in search of gold.
It's called a map stone, but we don't actually know if it's a map. And if it is, we don't know what it represents.
Mapping, exactly.
What it's mapping. Some people say that it might be a representation of all the river basins of the area. Others say that, well, you know, it might be related to the stone paths that crisscross the Sierra. So it really is an archaeological conundrum.
The site was only discovered in 1975. Vaqueros, or looters, came here to steal artifacts, and when a dispute resulted in murder, the city's location emerged. Ironically, they nicknamed the site Hell, as it is so far and so hard to get to.
Wow.
So what's really interesting about moving around in Tairona towns is that you're always, or almost always, confronted by two choices of movement.
Okay.
You can either take this path, which is the main path, or you can take this path on the left, which is the one that leads into the residential cluster.
Let's go inside. Let's go in there.
So we're going into the household compound right here, and what you have to remember is that this right here would have been the dwelling, a round dwelling, but the actual livable area is all this terrace, which doesn't actually have any walls. You're not just seeing
something
something that tumbled down or anything like that. That's just the way it was.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different way of living and being in a town than what we have. What's also important to remember is that none of this forest was here. It was all farmland, cornfields, yucca fields, avocado.
The Lost City is thought to have been the Tairona's biggest town, with 2,000 to 4,000 people living here and 11 other sites in the area. This was their political and economic center, consisting of more than 1,000 circular terraces, of which only 10% have been uncovered. Descendants of the Tairona Indians live nearby and regard the ruins as a sacred site.
We're just walking into the central terraces, which are actually the most important part of the town. And this is probably where all those rituals and all the feasting and all the ceremonies took place. And right here we have a great view of the Buritaco River Basin.
I'm so overwhelmed. There's so many things happening around me.
Perched on the northern slopes of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, the Lost City is 4,000 feet above sea level.
Megan, this is Romaldo, who is the Mamo, the religious specialist for the Kogi community, who live in this river basin. And he's basically in charge of the spiritual care of the site.
It's very important.
This is a sacred site for them.
I noticed that they are often chewing something.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's roasted coca leaves, and they put them in their mouth. They take a dab of lime that's stored in the gourd with the stick, and that's actually what releases the chemical.
Todos los días, toda la noche. Estar con esto se da mucho concentrado.
That's actually, it allows them to have increased levels of concentration to work for very long periods of time. It allows them to think continuously, at least for him, about the world and what they have to do and what their duties are. So it's very, very, very useful, apart from all its ritual purposes.
Como es sagrado.
Coca for them is a sacred plant.
Que eso no se puede a sembrar, a cultivar lo civilizado.
Most of the indigenous peoples believe that white people shouldn't actually grow coca because it wasn't meant for the purposes that
they're using
it. Exactly.
Here. Amazing rocks, right? This exists. They exist. It's once in a lifetime. Wow. I don't want to go home. I want to stay. Honestly, Colombia and Panama have been two of my favorite travel experiences, and ending here in the Lost City, it is completely magical. I was nervous. I thought Colombia might be a little iffy. No problems. The people here are incredible, and they take care of you. And yeah, I'm pretty hardcore. Good trek, but I am going to take the easy way out. Catch a lift with that helicopter. Fantastic journey. See you at the bottom.